Hey folks, welcome back to the Digital Imaging channel. I'm Will, and today we're going to be continuing our discussion about microfiche scanning costs and going over factors 4 through 6. On the previous video about fiche scanning costs, we covered factors 1 to 3, which were the number of fiche sheets, the type of fiche, and the resolution, and we're going into factors 4 to 6. Factor number 4 is indexing. And indexing, aside from the scanning itself, in my mind is one of the most critical aspects of the project because it can make or break a digital conversion project. If you have terrible indexing, but you scan your records, you probably won't be able to find them. It's just gobbledygook. But if you have great indexing, you can easily access your records and be much more productive in handling the physical fiche. The reason indexing is a major factor of pricing is because it can be pretty simple and it can be extremely complex. A great way to start your indexing plan is what I call the building block approach, which is setting a foundation, starting with what you already do. Since you're handling microfiche physically and they had those title strips on top, just replicate what you have now. That's going to get you the most cost-effective option for indexing, and you know how to find the records because that's how you're doing it now in physical form, but it will be faster once it's digital. Once you've done that, if you want to get more complicated, you can always do more, but it's hard to scale back if you do something kind of fancy early on. You pay a lot of money for it, and it's just really difficult. You make it a little too complex, hard to find things. You won't be too happy about that. So my suggestion is start easy. It's a less expensive option, and then if you need to, you can always make it more complex later. But really, indexing can be done however you want by the fiche title strip. It can be done per image, multiple records per image. Anything you can come up with under the sun can likely be done, but the more complex you go, the more expensive it gets. Factor number 5 is subcontractors, and almost everyone uses subcontractors in some fashion. If we're working with you, we're kind of like a subcontractor. You're not doing the work yourself to scan, you're hiring us to do it. We do that for various parts of our projects so we can get larger scale projects done at a lower cost to ourselves, and then that passes on to you as well. So using subcontractors generally allows us to present you with a lower price than if we have to do everything in-house. Occasionally some projects, some pieces of projects do require in-house work, and we can do that, but if possible and you're okay with it, we like using subcontractors because we can lower that overall price. So that's something to consider when you have your records, the types of records, what you need done. Something to consider is, are you okay with allowing subcontractors or not? Because if not, your price will likely be higher than if you are okay with that. Factor number 6 is the project schedule, meaning when you want the project to start and then when you want it to end. Usually when we're talking to folks, most of them say, we don't really have a schedule. Whenever you get it done is fine. Now, as a professional company, we do have pacing for projects. We like to get them done in a efficient fashion, but we sort of set our schedule, if you don't have one, based on what we can accomplish, where we can get your project in, other projects that are going on. If you have a special requirement, it's important that you tell us, because if you say, no, there's no timing, there's no schedule for this, and then we don't do your project right away, we're kind of slowing it down because we're working on something else, and you start asking us, well, geez, I thought you were going to be done. We need to know if you need it done sooner, because we can set it up that way, but we have to know. If you have a quick turnaround, we can do it. It may affect your price if we have to bump other projects, other commitments to fit yours in. If you have a more relaxed schedule, you don't need something right away, and you're really okay with it being kind of filler work, that may affect your price as well, because we're not obligated to get it done by a very specific date. So something to consider is the schedule that you need your project done. If you have a date that you have to start or have to end or whatever it is, absolutely let us know and we can work with you on that. There you go, factors 4 to 6, indexing, subcontractors, and project schedule. Of those 3, I would say that factor 4, indexing, is the one that will most likely affect your schedule, because everyone needs indexing in some way, and it's just going to come down to how simple or how complex you want it and how we're going to accomplish that. If you haven't seen it already, take a look at the first video on factors 1 to 3, and keep an eye out for the final video, factors 7 to 9, to wrap up microfiche scanning costs. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.